All right, let's jump right in. Picture this total chaos. Chongyang Palace, this super sacred place for the legendary Quanzhen Sect, is on fire. I mean, flames are just ripping through the halls, smoke is everywhere, the sound of swords clashing. It's a mess. So, down in the thick of it, the masters are fighting for their lives. They've pulled out their trump card, the famous North Star formation. It's this incredible strategy with interlocking circles of 7 Taoists all moving as one. But here's the problem. They are just hopelessly outnumbered. They're up against this massive mob of over 100 villains from all over. And right when it looks like it's all over, their lines are about to collapse, a single person shows up. He calls out to the attackers, his voice just booming. This is Guo Jing, a hero on another level. And just like that, he's a whirlwind of action, tossing guys left and right, disarming a prince like it's nothing. He single-handedly turns the entire battle around. Incredible. So, you gotta be asking, what was all that about? Why attack the Quanzhen Sect? Well, here's the twist. This attack has almost nothing to do with them. To really get what's going on, we need to rewind the clock. This is a story about rivalry, about love that wasn't returned, and a grudge that's been festering for decades. It all starts with the founder of the sect himself, a guy named Wang Chongyang. He was this patriot who, after a major defeat, basically gave up on the world and went to live in a tomb he called the Living Dead Tomb. Yeah, pretty grim. Now, the only person who could match his skills was this mysterious woman. At first they were rivals, but that turned into a real friendship. The problem? She fell for him hard. But he was too obsessed with his nation's fate to love her back. And, well, that rejection soured everything. Their friendship curdled into this intense rivalry, which all came down to one last, very strange challenge. And what were they fighting for in this final contest? The tomb, the living dead tomb itself. Think about that. This place that started as a symbol of one man's despair was now up for grabs. It was about to become the headquarters for a whole new legacy, one founded on a broken heart and a whole lot of resentment. So how'd she pull it off? Not with raw power, but with pure brain power. She dared him to do the impossible, write on solid stone with just his finger. He couldn't do it, but then she did. What he didn't realize was her secret weapon, a stone-melting elixir she'd used beforehand to soften the rock. It was a brilliant trick. He admitted defeat, handed over the tomb, and by the time he figured out how she'd done it a month later, well, the deal was done. She'd outsmarted him. And just like that, a new sect is born, right inside that tomb. Now, the founder, the woman who won the duel, she never took on any students of her own. Well, except for one, a single maid who she taught everything to. And it's through this maid's legacy that the past is about to violently collide with the present. Okay, so this maid takes on 2 students. First, there's the senior disciple, Limo Cho. She's ambitious, she's cruel. Then there's the younger one, a quiet, withdrawn girl known only as the Little Dragon Maiden. Guess who the maid chooses as her successor? The younger one. Limo Cho is furious, cast out, and just eaten up by jealousy. She hatches this truly devastating plan for revenge. But she's smart. She doesn't just attack the Little Dragon Maiden. No, she spreads a rumor. A very specific, very tempting rumor. And get this, the rumor was a public challenge, a marriage by combat. The deal was, any man who could defeat the Little Dragon Maiden in a duel on her 18th birthday would get the whole package, her hand in marriage, and all the priceless treasures and secret martial arts manuals hidden away in that tomb. And that is why Chongyang Palace was under siege. It all clicks into place now, right? Those 100 villains weren't there to fight the Quanzhen Sect. They couldn't care less about them. They were all just treasure hunters, drawn by this incredible rumor. The Quanzhen Masters? They were just collateral damage, an obstacle in the way of the real prize, right next door. But when this mob of villains, led by a Mongolian prince named Hodu, finally makes their move on the tomb, they run into something they did not see coming. A truly terrifying defense. A huge swarm of poisonous jade-green bees just pours out of the surrounding forest. It drives them all back, screaming in pain. It turns out the Little Dragon Maiden has her own private army. Okay, so let's get back to our hero, Guo Jing. After saving everyone, he makes a choice that's going to change everything. He has this orphaned boy under his care, Yang Guo, and he decides to leave him here, at Chongyang Palace, to be trained by the very masters he just saved. And Yeah, this is where things get really volatile. Yang Guo is not taking this well at all. He feels like he's been completely abandoned. I mean, from his point of view, he just saw his hero, Guo Jing, take down 100 guys all by himself. Guys that these supposed masters were getting crushed by. So in his mind, he's just been dumped with a bunch of incompetent frauds. He has absolutely no respect for them from day one. And he doesn't waste any time showing it. His rebellion is instant, and frankly, it's brutal. He fakes a bathroom emergency to get his guard to untie him, then dumps a whole latrine bucket on the guy, steals his sword, ties him to a post, and leaves him in a building that's catching fire. This is way beyond a kid's prank. This is a serious, dangerous act of pure contempt. So, when his new master, a man named Zhao Zhijing, confronts him about it, Yang Guo is just completely defiant. It turns into a physical struggle, and in a fit of pure rage, Yang Guo lunges and bites his master's finger, hard enough to break the bone. Okay, so now the master Zhao Zhijing is in a tough spot. He's been publicly humiliated by a kid. He's furious, but he can't just refuse to teach him. So he decides to get his revenge in a much crueler way. He pretends to teach Yang Guo. For months, he makes the boy memorize all these complicated theories and rhymes about martial arts, but he never actually teaches him a single practical move. And Yang Guo knows. He's smart, he knows he's being cheated, and that resentment just builds and builds. This toxic little game goes on for months, and it all comes to a head at the sect's big annual tournament. This is where everything is finally going to blow up. So, for maximum humiliation, Zhao Zhijing forces Yang Guo to fight in the tournament. Of course, the kid only knows rhymes, no actual moves. He fights like a wild animal, all rage, and gets beaten down pretty quickly. But then it gets even uglier. The guard he attacked on his first day, Lu Qingdu, jumps in and just starts savagely beating the boy while he's down. And this is the most shocking part of the whole thing. A child is being brutally beaten by an adult in front of everyone. And the senior masters, the so-called righteous leaders of the sect, including his own teacher, they just stand there and they watch. They do absolutely nothing. Pushed way, way beyond his breaking point, something inside Yang Guo just snaps. He unconsciously uses a powerful, forbidden technique that he learned from someone else a long time ago. He lets out this one explosive palm strike, and it sends his attacker flying, knocked out cold. The whole place erupts into chaos. Everyone thinks Lu Qingdu is dead. Yang Guo, just a kid, is terrified. He thinks he just killed a man. And he does the only thing he can think of. He runs for his life. And now, the entire sect is chasing him. He's just running blind, scrambling through the forest. The master's hot on his trail. And in his panic, he stumbles right into the one place on the entire mountain that the Quanzhen Sect is forbidden to enter, the forest that surrounds the living dead tomb. His master, Zhao Zhijing, finally corners him at the edge of the trees. It looks like it's over. But then, he hears a familiar buzzing. The jade bees. They pour out of the forest just like they did before, and they swarm his master, stinging him over and over until he has to retreat in agony. Yang Guo is saved by the very same mysterious guardians who fought off the villains. So here we are. Yang Guo has escaped one prison, the Quanzhen Sect, only to find himself trapped in another. He's safe from the masters who hated him, but now he's trespassing in the home of a mysterious, powerful recluse. He's out of the frying pan and into the fire. And the big question is, what happens next? What or who is waiting for him inside that forbidden tomb?